So, hello, Pueblo City. I am going to share with you my list of reasons of why I'm against strange mayor. And someone said it should be strong-arm mayor, because who wants to be strong-armed? But that's what some people are suggesting. It's like, tyranny? Yes, we want tyranny, please. I can't wait to have despotism here. Let's get some tyranny. You know what Pueblo City really needs? Some tyranny. Some tyranny. Let's get 70 amendments. Let's not have a charter convention. Don't invite anybody. Let's just have our own little private charter convention. And we're going to go ahead and, change 70 different things in the charter, 70 different amendments, put it in one question. So just, circumvent that whole charter commission, whole charter convention thing. Ignore state law, ignore local law. Let's just change the fucking form of government through ballot initiative. Through a ballot initiative, even though it's illegal per our charter. But who the fuck listens to the charter? Who gives a shit about constitutional law? Who cares about where all of our laws spring forth from, right? Shit, if our establishment isn't paying attention to constitutional law, you think Joe Blow, citizen, you think he's paying attention? So, I want to do this in one take. So, one action Jackson. I wanted to mention about just some of my thoughts about the election in general. There's 5 candidates who's running for school board, and there's 7 candidates who's running for city council. 7 candidates. That's a lot, right? 5 is enough. That's a nice, robust conversation. There's 3 running for District 1 seat and 2 running for District 3. And that's Josh Bruns. And he could be a Bernie bro, but we don't know. We know as much information on Josh Bruns as we do Ed Brown. I don't know what Ed Brown's platform is. I don't know. He's not very assertive in city council. So he's a Calvin Coolidge kind of figure. He could be a very nice gentleman. I would like to talk to him. I would like to talk to him and see if he agrees with any of my 15 points. I got 15 points for him, and I got 20 questions, and I should do the 20 questions next. I just took the 15 points and turned them into 20 questions. Eventually, I want to do more about this strange mayor thing. I want to stop it. I want to put a stop to it. I want to at least object to this thing before it goes, through. Hopefully, it doesn't go through. If it's illegal to begin with, it shouldn't have been placed on the ballot. So they're already, doing extra legal things. I want to take a close look at this. I want to take a close look at not just the ballot language. The ballot language is just going to be a paragraph, but that paragraph corresponds to 10 fucking pages. It's a whole nother charter. 10 pages. I mean, what's our Constitution's like 10 pages long, right? The U.S. So, the charter's like 70 pages, so I'm going to have to read that 70 fucking page charter, and then I'm going to compare that 70 page charter to the 10 page mini charter that they wrote, and I'm going to compare and contrast them, because I'm going to take a look at each one of the sections that they are proposing to change. They're just saying strong mayor, and that's the only fucking focus, but there's 70 changes, so they didn't change all 70 things just to accompany the strong mayor. They changed a lot of things. And they taken the budget control. I guess that goes to strong mayor, but it goes to weak city council. They've added a runoff election. And even though I'm pro runoff elections, it's 2 elections, 3 elections. Instant runoff election, you could get 5 elections in one shot. So you just need one day. You rank your candidates, and then they, get redistributed if there's no majority winner. It's kind of a complicated algorithm, but it's the best goddamned democratic system, in a winner-take-all system that you can ever come up with. It's the most fair, most democratic, if you don't have it, you're actually being discriminatory towards everybody else. It encourages people, encourages independence. There's no spoiler effect. And where do all the new good ideas come from? They come from third and independent parties, and then usually, the 2 major parties take their ideas, and then that's how they keep on winning and keep on, making gains. But sometimes they could just be so far, in their own fucking worlds, they're just totally out of touch with all America. So, yeah, so that's essentially, we got 5 ballot questions. Garrison Ortiz is put in his county jail, So the county wants a jail for the county. So he's asking, this is a city election. It's a city school board election. The county school board canceled their election since there was only one person who ran for each one of the spots for the county school board. So they didn't even have a they didn't even have a vote. There was no, nobody's feet got held to the fire. Nobody's, had to justify their decisions or to promise us anything, right? Well, they've been doing the job. Let's just let them keep on doing the job. I doubt that that's the case. I bet that there are, they act like things are going well out there. Their school system is doing a little bit better, but if you got more space, if you have, an acre to live on versus living on top of one another, well, you have an easier and more privileged and better life. And yeah, probably, I would say you probably have, a better quality of people. But I only say that because when you got a city, everybody is dumped into the city. So the county, that's you have to. How do you get? I guess you could have wanderers, just people wander in a small town and hope that a small town will be decent to them. Anyways, so I do want to get to the list of stuff that I want to talk about. But I want to mention these different ballot questions. I'm against all the ballot questions. I'm almost there with Jenny Paulson's question. Jenny Paulson has this / neighborhood, police sort of fusion kind of thing. There's 11 different wards, 11 different districts, 11 different sections. Now, my question will probably be the same question that most citizens who are not familiar with this, at first it feels like, well, who the hell is this little secret government? There's going to be a secret government that's going to be foisted upon us, and it's going to be a government within a government, so there's going to be all these legal complications. But really, all departments are mini governments inside of governments, right? So the library, that's its own mini government. The purchasing department, that's its own mini government. The civil service board, its own mini government. So we have lots of mini governments that's doing this. I like the overall structure. I like the overall plan. It includes the community. It includes the neighborhood. It can be very brilliant. My question to Jenny Paulson on behalf of myself and all of Pueblo City: how do we get into this? How do we, be a part of this? Is it, there's going to be 11 different districts, so that means we got to figure out which district we're in, and then we got to figure out who else is in those districts. We need to meet up with those people, and so what needs to happen is this thing should be decentralized. This isn't Queen Jenny. This is a democracy thing. This is the people get the power. The people get the power. The people in the houses, the ones who want police protection. I think this is good on many levels, on many fronts. It encourages people to get out of their houses, to talk to one another, and ultimately that's what's going to reduce crime. When we know each other, we know, okay, that person, is a piece of shit. That person's a thief. That person's a low-life, stealing piece of shit. Or, hey, there's old Grandma Bob. Grandma Bob is transgendered, right? So Grandma Bob, I'm not going to be against, I'm not going to let my pit bull just savagely bark at Grandma Bob just because Grandma Bob wants to. I want people bicycling. I want people to take evening strolls. I want people to know each other, and I think that is the best way to, solve a lot of issues. It would definitely lower the anxiety. And so by people knowing each other, and then these are the people that are homeowners, and so they have something to lose, and you get familiar with the people in the community, so shit does go down. You kind of have your allies, you have your friends, you have the people that you could trust versus, who the fuck did this? And we need to find the perpetrator. We need to find these damn thieves. We need to find, these violent thugs, these people that want to steal or rape or murder, or they're just violent. They just want to hurt people and attack people. For no reason. And I'm personally, I'm against rape, I'm against murder, I'm against assault. So I have a very strong sense of morality. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. That's, that's the golden rule. If people are nice to you, you're nice back. I match people's energy. You give me a good energy, I give you a good energy back. You give me a bad energy, you give me an oppressive vibe, well, I'll try to get away from that energy, or, justice is eye for an eye. So, if you wanted to punch me in my arm, I might punch you back. If you want to call me names, I'll call you a name back. And that's fair, right? You give me some bullshit, and then I give bullshit back. Seems fair to me. So there's 5 questions. I'm against all of them because I don't know exactly the taxes. I probably would be for them if they were explained to me, but I don't understand why we have to have a water bill tax, why our road street repair tax is on the water bill. I don't understand why we're putting sales tax for the 24 new police officers, and what structure do they have, right? So at least Jenny Paulson has like this elaborate plan of what she's going to do with the money, what she's going to do with the police, and here the 24 new cop plan is just, here's 24 here's a bunch of money, start hiring away. So I think they do have some plan. I don't know if it's as detailed or if it includes the community as much, but there is some plan. So, I need to know about that plan. I need to know, why is there a sales tax, for how long, and, for the 24 police, it's, the police have done a good job. Since there have been gang attacks, it's been peaceful since I've been here. There has been break-ins. There have been, business owners says they're taking off. People breaking into cars. What the fuck is that about? That's not some petty shit. That's like some organized gang shit. So, yeah, the police need to be more organized than the organized gangs, and the only way they're going to do that is with the people. Now, the only way I can trust the police is if there's a check over the police. And the check is city council. The check is the executive. But I don't know if they know that. Sometimes you have rogue police chiefs or sheriffs that do as the hell as they please, and then, they run roughshod over the executive. So if the sheriff just basically said, I'm not going to do what the commissioners tell me, fuck you, I'm not going to do what you tell me. If he just wanted to say, this is my town, this is my county, what are the commissioners going to do? They're the, legislative and executive branch. They're the ones that need to enforce the law. But if the sheriff says no, well, you got a constitutional crisis. Same thing with the police chief. If the police chief says, I run Pueblo City, you don't run shit. Now, what are the, what's the mayor or the chief head executive, city manager, or the legislators? What is the city council going to do? What are you going to do, city council, when the police chief says, fuck you, I'm not going to do anything that you tell me? Yeah, you might be able to cut his budget, but, don't he still, I guess you could fire him. The city manager could fire him. So that's the power of the city manager, and then you could fire the city manager, right? It's that easy. Just fire him, and 4 out of 7 votes, that's all you need. 30 days, get rid of the city manager. Like, it's a you're fired mechanism, and that's what Strange Mayor is taking out. You can't fire the mayor. You can fire the city manager. So city council is now made weaker on that front. City council doesn't have hiring and firing power now, but their budget powers is going to be taken away too. So your fired mechanism is being taken away from city council and their budget. They get no decision on the money. No decision on the money. That's a soft power. It's an important soft power. You get to decide, divvy up the taxes. Who gets where? Who gets what money goes where? Does it all go to the jail? I bet you there's some fascist that'll be like, let's just take all the money and put it into police and the jail and the courts, and let's just, let the wealthy people get their justice because they got lawyers and shit, and they can figure out the court system, and just let everybody else fend for themselves. It could be like that. So I'm against all 5 of the ballot measures. I'm not against taxes in general. So I think if those, the police officer tax, the Jenny Paulson tax, and the, the water bill tax for street repairs, so the street repair tax, those are all things I could get on board with. They're very small, very incremental. Very tiny, 1/5 of a cent, half a cent. They pay attention because one's 0.45 cents. That's what Garrison Ortiz, he got that big jail task force, and that's what they came up with. That number, right? That's why you had 50 people on the board. Let's see, how are we going to get a jail? We tried a tax before. I know, let's try another tax. But instead of saying half a cent, we'll say 0.45. We're going to pull a Walmart trick. It's not... It's less than $1. It's not even $1. How much is it? It's 99 cents. Oh, well, it's basically $1. No, it's not even $1. Not even $1. No, it's $1. It's 99 cents. It's $1. So, yeah, I'm against all the ballot measures until my default position is no. Explain it to me, like I'm a kindergartner, why this is a good thing. And if people are just talking at me and they just want to say, well, why don't you just pass it, okay? Don't you want the streets to be repaired? Don't you want the streets to be repaired? Yeah, I do. But don't we have a transportation? Don't we have states? And don't we have federal government, people say, oh, we got funds for the homeless, right? Act like poor people would just have a big old fucking party. And nobody bitches about the streets. I mean, we have state, right? We're part of the state. And the federal government, we're part of America. We're part of Colorado. And so therefore, don't they pay for a street fund? Is it just up to us to pay for a street fund? And then whose streets are going to be paved? The rich people's? Are we going to get, is this dark alley going to get paved? Are we going to put a nice big, marquee for Ricky Muniz? Are we going to have a nice shrine and a cross of some sort of, sentimental thing? Just this thing happened right here. Maybe a historical marker. Let's put historical markers for this shit. Just so we, in order to solve the problem, you have to look at the problem, then you got to fix whatever that problem was. So let's look at this problem. People are shooting each other. Why are they shooting each other? Why did this have to happen? Okay. So, let's see. I just want to make sure I got the 2 sales tax. I got the 24 police, Jenny Paulson's small army, the street repair tax. Then there's strange mayor, which is it's a debacle of epic proportions. So, which I'm going to get to. It's only going to be 30 minutes, so I might not even get to it. All that build up for nothing, and you just have to watch the second video, because that's when I just read the list. So maybe I could, if this goes longer, how about that? I'll read the list as soon as I finished giving my overview of the election. Okay, so you got 7 candidates for city council, you got 5 candidates for school board, and you have 5 ballot questions. And I'm against all the ballot questions, including Garrison Ortiz's question about the jail. We need to go towards a treatment center. Every fascist, every 1%, every banker, they want stronger cops, stronger jails, stronger court system, which, I agree with all those things. Those are essential in order to get law and order, right? You got your legal system, then you got your cops, which hopefully are, subordinate to somebody, but I'm not for sure if they are. So that's why you need an oversight board. That's why you need an oversight board. So Garrison Ortiz is going towards a jail with a treatment center. The focus ain't the fucking treatment center. He's running to the right. He does this Obama shit. He's, he was for the marijuana industry. Good for him, but he had 2 plans, right? So it didn't matter which way he went. So he picked the right horse, and, he got to be the commissioner. He's going to be the commissioner for the next 4 years. So he's going to, have decision-making abilities when it comes to the budget for the next, 3 years now. But he's a talented young man, little snobby, a little stuck up, a little too Obama-y for me. Just level with me, man. Just tell me what's going on. I'll give you all the time in the world to explain exactly your position, exactly what you think, why you think, I just want to understand it. So, excuse the dumb questions. Please don't insult me. Excuse the dumb questions. But, why is this and why is that? So, he's going for a jail. He's Mr. Liberal, going for a jail. Oh, good conservative credentials. Is he going to come back left? He was for the marijuana industry, but is he just going to be a right-wing fascist from the entire time? Right? Now we got a nice Garrison Ortiz fucking jail, and it's right next to the Dennis Mays judicial building. So they're going to go in, right? They're going to get charged, and it's going to be like this underground network. They're going to get arrested. They're going to get nabbed. They're going to be accused of a crime. They're going to show up to the thing. They'll say you're guilty, and then they go right back into the fucking pen. Right? Just have a big pin where they're throwing everybody there right next to the courthouse, so it's easy to transfer them. That's going to be a ministry of love. That's going to be the torture chamber. That's going to be where a lot of people are going to get raped. A lot of people are going to get murdered. A lot of people are going to get assaulted. And it's going to be by not just the prisoners onto each other, but it's going to be about the jail, too. The jailers will do that shit to everybody else, too, because there's no check. There's no check to them, except for the head jailer and the head sheriff. Right, and the commissioners and the city councilmen, if they actually paid attention to this shit. Every city council person should give a tour to the jail. Go check out the jail. Check it out. Because you need to make sure that that shit ain't fucking happening. If you're bad people and you want rapes and murders and you're, if you're shitty people, then keep that fucking jail as criminal as fuck, right? Just make it scary and criminal to where even, people who are just get some sort of traffic violation, if they got 3 traffic violations and they have to be in jail for a day or some shit, make sure you terrify the shit out of them to terrify the shit out of everybody, right? Rule through fear. So I'm in favor of court systems and government and, cops and all the rest, those are basic necessities for order. My argument isn't that we need to get away from them. My argument is that we need to be also having compassionate, spending, compassionate sort of. A treatment center is all compassion. It's all pure compassion. We already got the fascist fucking pen where we throw, people's lives away. But the treatment center, that's the direction that Pueblo should be going towards. A treatment center, parks, hospitals, schools, brand new houses, housing complexes. We're going to get new businesses. So we're going to need zoning. We're going to need new, fucking subdivisions and shit. And they're going to need new schools. And they're going to need new firehouses. And they're going to need police. And they're going to need water. So let's just fucking figure out. Let's have a, 15-year plan of what Pueblo County and Pueblo City, where are we going with this entire thing? So the general thrust of where Pueblo County is headed, I don't like. They voted for Donald Trump. And now you have, liberal Ortiz going for the fucking jail. So that's, God, come on. Let's make it fucking fair if the system is fair, right? If you can get a lawyer, right, you might get some justice. You might get some representation. You might be considered innocent until you're proven guilty. But if you're a homeless person with a personal amount of, we're throwing homeless people in for personal amount of hard drugs. Yeah, hard drugs bad, don't have that type of shit, but he has no fucking home, And let's have a tent city. Let's get all the homeless people in one fucking area, and let's protect them. They must be scared to death, not of just everybody. Anybody could just go attack them. There's a 10-year-old kid in Louisville that got killed because he was homeless. He was homeless, and so, he's living in in an alley, and some crazy person killed him. And, that's fucking hardcore. That's just hardcore. I don't think anybody, if they saw it, that they would just, ignore it. So if you wouldn't do that to their faces, you shouldn't do that to them in general. And if there's a will, I think there's a will to at least give them basic, a tent city. A tent city. They do tent cities for the Palestinians. They do tent cities for the Haitians and the Caribbean, whenever they get hit with, hurricanes and shit. There's UN refugee fucking camps. So there's tent cities for lots of people all across the world that the United States pays for, but we don't even have tent cities for our own homeless. And then, so the tent city has everybody there with police protection. Now they're not afraid of each other. They have police protection. They're allowed to live. If you're homeless, you have to look over your back for the police, for the citizenry, and for other homeless people, right? Other homeless people knows what the fuck is going on, and ultimately it's just you versus, homeless Joe versus homeless Marcy. And if they're fighting, people, the cops might even enjoy that. That might be a nice little laugh for them, right? Seeing two homeless people fight over an apple. But that's tragic to me. So that's my thing on Garrison Ortiz. So I oppose all these tax increases. I also don't understand the budget, and I understand enough, okay? So what I don't understand is if I get into the budget, if I get into the actual system of how they're spending all this money, consolidation would save a shit ton of money. The Sweden's trash to electric would be a revenue generator, so that would be a revenue stream to have your own business. To have a municipal internet would be a business. You have the water. Why don't we have trash? We should have a municipal trash corporation too. So that's, there's 2 or 3 other revenue streams, and it's by business. You're offering a service, so it's not like you're just taxing people to be taxing them. It's, in fact, it's kind of like a nice little tax, right? So it's a service, and by popularity. And so it's people get to choose, just like in the free market. And so the government is just one, one provider in that market. And so they should be, they should own a trash company, and I think they should have a Sweden's trash to electricity company. And consolidation, that saves fucking millions. The Sweden, that electric thing, that's going to make millions. The trash thing, that's going to bring in millions. So there's 3 multi-million-dollar ideas there that, is free of charge. Pueblo, if you want to take those ideas and run with them, I think you should do that, because that's a way for the city of Pueblo to increase their taxes, their tax base, their tax revenue streams, right? And so they don't have to actually tax the people. So by having a profitable business, they won't have to tax the people. And, we're not going for profits, so, especially, like the trash thing. It's not so much, I don't know. They should be able to operate at cost. So we shouldn't lose money with a corporation, but in terms of profits, I'm not sure how. We don't want to gouge. We're trying to prevent gouging. I would say even buy a gas station. So I'd be for a municipal-owned internet, municipal-owned gas station, municipal-owned let's see, internet, gas station, trash. So I should write those things down because those things are pretty important. So municipal trash, municipal internet, and municipal, what did I say? Trash, internet, damn it. Municipal trash, municipal internet, and I'm not going to get to the thing. So I guess I'll just start talking about the people. So Taylor Voss, he's not old school. Taylor Voss is new school. Old school is teaching to yesterday's pre-internet generation when there are plenty of factory jobs. Those jobs aren't here anymore, and they're never coming back. So Taylor Voss is teaching to the new school. Taylor Voss is new school. Taylor Voss is for funding STEM. Taylor Voss mentioned the 1,100 homeless children that I keep mentioning over and over again. So Taylor Voss cares about the kids. He quoted Gandhi. He wants to be the change he wants to see in the world. And I hope he starts to believe in democracy in the classroom. One of his friends said we need a Montessori method out in one of the vacant school buildings. So I hope he listens to his friends. I'm glad that he gives a shit about poor people. I'm glad that he's starting this conversation. I'm glad that he's got a platform. He's got a platform there. He's got his biography. You could read about him. He's like, he went to college and he wrote a book about it and he did some, motivational speeches. And now he wants to be a board member, which, it's not a paid position. School board is not a paid position. So anybody wants to vie for a school board is either A, very, very honorable, or B, very, very corrupt. Those are the two choices. You're either very, very great or very, very shitty. So either you're shitty, so somebody's paying you to run this campaign so that way you can keep corrupt administration in there, or you actually give a shit and you're trying to make a difference. So, and once you could tell, I think once you ask people enough questions, you can eventually tell where they're coming from. And so once you find out that they're good, once you find out that Taylor Voss means it, Voss wants to, be a good school board member. He wants to budget appropriately, and he wants to, go to classrooms and talk to the students and encourage them and motivate them. And, I think Taylor Voss would be an incredible addition to the school board. The way I look at the school board race right now is Dennis Mays. Dennis Mays is the front runner. I don't even think he could be defeated. The way he's carrying himself, the way he's introducing this campaign, I don't know if he has a Facebook page or not, but he came out swinging. He criticized the current administration for the firing of Constance Jones, and he criticized how they fired some baseball coach too. So he's not above criticizing people. He's put out his policies there. He's the judge. The Judicial Center has his name on it. He was a judge for 17 years, a judicial judge, the chief judicial judge. So that means he had 10 other judges underneath him. Judges and magistrates, the county judges, municipal judge. He was the head honcho. He was the chief of the judicial branch. So the fact that he's already got a huge legacy, he's got a big old fucking building, he's a living legend, he's huge. And so I don't see how anybody can break that. I think people might just like him just because he used to be rich and powerful, right? He was getting $150,000 a year, $140,000, something like that every year. So the city of Pueblo, the county of Pueblo, has made Dennis Mays very rich and powerful. Why is this rich, powerful person interested in a school board seat? It could be very altruistic, right? He's an old man, just wants to, give back. He's bored, so he's getting into this school board thing, and he just wants to get in there and just do what's right, just do what's good, And that's what I like to hope until I see evidence otherwise. I'm not going to speculate that, people are corrupt. I'll give everybody, a fair chance until I see something I don't like. I'm going to give everybody a chance. So Jason Munez is for free Wi-Fi for everybody in Pueblo City. Taylor Voss. I like Taylor Voss that he's the only one that has a platform. I'm going to keep on researching all these candidates too, and then, periodically give these state of Pueblo City election talks. But I'm going to keep on researching and I'm going to evolve. I got my platform. I got my issues. Here's my 15-point platform. These are the things I believe. and I'm a citizen. So this is a citizen of Pueblo saying this is, I'm one citizen. There's two other people that I had talked to that they agreed with, 95% of everything, their objections I had put into it. So essentially that's that's not just me, it's two other people. But yeah, so that's what I believe. Those are the things I'd like to see. You agree? If you don't, why not? Dennis Mays is for due process, and I'm going to have to hit you back here in a second. Peace.